right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing part 1 of the full OP15 set review. That's right. Part 1, we're going to be going over the red, green, and blue cards. And then in part 2, in tomorrow's video, we're going to be going over the purple, black, and yellow cards. Now, real quick, notice on the screen here, guys. OP15 and the other half of EB04 is actually going to be available to us on April 3rd. I'm recording this video and putting it out on March 2nd. So this is just a month away for us. But over in the East, look at this, guys. We're almost caught up to them. They just got access to OP15, and they already have all of EB04 to go along with it. Okay, so February 28th, that was just what, last week, okay? The East just got access to OP15. So in today's video, we're going to be going over part 1 of all of the OP15 spoilers because we're going to be getting this set in just a month. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Without any further ado, we're going to be hopping into this. One more thing I do need to mention is I have only gone over half of EB04, and that was lumped together with my OP14 spoiler. I went over all of the green, blue, and purple EB04 cards because those came out with the OP14 stuff in the West. And notice at the top left here, it says OP15 and EB04. In today's video and tomorrow's video, it is just going to be OP15. I will cover the other half of EB04 in its own video in the future, okay? And that will be the red, black, and yellow EB04 cards. And like I said, I will cover that in its own separate video in the future. Okay, now let's do this, guys. Let's get right into it. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden. Pre-orders for the Empress playmat are now live, and they just dropped their brand new cross-body bags. These bags are lightweight, functional, and designed for everyday essentials. Right now, you can bundle a cross-body bag with any playmat on the site and get $5 off. And that deal stacks with my promo code, the VV Theory, for an additional 10% off. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's get right into it. We have a lot of cards to go over. If I miss anything, or if there's something, if you had a question on one of the cards, if something was confusing, don't be afraid to ask anything down in the comment section below. Okay, guys? I'm saying that right now because I'm probably going to be moving through this pretty quickly. Like I said, we have a lot of cards to go over. Okay, now, first up, we have Krieg. I will say this, guys, I'm going to be moving pretty quickly, like I said, but I'll probably spend a little bit more time on cards like Krieg, any type of leader card or secret rare or SR. I'll probably spend a little extra time on those cards, just to give you guys a heads up. Okay, so first up here, we have the leader, Krieg. This is a 4-life, 5,000 power, red-green, East-blue, Krieg Pirates type leader with the effect Dawn ×1 on your opponent's turn. If the only characters on your field are East-blue type characters, give all of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power. And then that is really powerful. We'll talk more about that in a second. And then activate main once per turn. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters that has 2 or more Dawn cards given. So guys, let me start off by talking about the opponent's turn effect, and then we'll talk about the activate main. That Dawn ×1 opponent's turn effect, yes, it will force you to build your deck in a very specific way, where you're going to be building around the East-blue package, obviously. But if you do stick to, if you stick to that, what would you call it? Condition or to that stipulation of like building everything East-blue that's going to be on the board. On your opponent's turn, all of their characters get a minus 2,000 power debuff. Now, again, that's just on your opponent's turn, so it's not going to help you like attack into their characters per se and like beat them easier. But no, defending against your entire opponent's board is going to be minus 2,000 power. So that effect is actually incredible, right? It's actually so strong. However, we'll have to see what happens. We have seen in the past certain decks, like, for example, Blue-Purple Luffy, and even red-blue ace, they go very, very tall. And even like red-purple Roger, red-black Sabo, decks do tend to go very, very tall these days. So it probably won't be impossible to deal with that type of effect, but it's still extremely powerful, especially for the decks that are trying to go wide. Like the first deck that pops into my mind would be like blue-yellow Boa. They typically go very wide across the board. They can go taller in the late game, but is it going to be too little too late? We'll have to see. But even decks like, any kind of aggro deck, any type of even maybe like black-yellow Gecko Moria deck, red-yellow Sabo, I'm thinking of any deck that runs the Thriller Bark Pirates package. Yeah, this leader's probably going to be a problem. We'll have to find ways to deal with this. Maybe just going taller has to be the answer, or putting in enough, removal and control to carry the game out longer and longer. Maybe that's another good answer. But either way, this leader effect, the opponent's turn effect, is outrageously strong, but you are going to have to build your entire deck around the East-Blue type. Now, the activate main once per turn effect. That's no joke either, because guys, as you will see as we start going through some of these cards, it looks like Bandai has created a new type of mechanic built into this red-green East-Blue package, where you're basically going to be able to give Dawn cards. You're going to be able to give your opponent their own rested Dawn cards. And then with this activate main effect and other effects we're going to see within OP15's, red-green East-Blue package, you're going to be able to punish your opponent for them having Dawn cards attached to their characters, and you're going to have ways to attach their own Dawn to their own characters. Really cool stuff going on there. We'll have to see what goes on more with that in the future, but that could be very interesting if Bandai chooses to stay in that direction. Maybe that can be a new way to build red-green leaders in the future to get as much synergy as you can from that color combination. Really cool stuff either way. Very powerful leader. Like I said, guys, I'll probably spend a little extra time on the leaders because there's typically more to talk about. But regardless, really good stuff here. Let's keep going. Okay, that was Krieg. Okay, now we have the alt art. That's really cool looking. Really good looking alt art here. And then we have Lucy. Okay, so Lucy is a 4-life, 5,000 power, red-blue, Dressrosa Revolutionary Army type leader with the effect, when attacking on your opponent's attack, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand, okay? And then this leader will gain plus 1,000 power during this battle for every card trashed this way, right? So that's really cool. That's actually a very interesting effect there. It reminds me of Ace, right? I think it was OP03 Red Ace. They had a similar effect. In fact, they had an identical effect, but instead of it being just event cards, or excuse me, it did not have stage cards. It was just for event cards, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, very powerful effect there, offensively and defensively. Then we have Activate Main once per turn. If you have activated an event with a base cost of 3 or more during this turn, draw 1 card. Okay, wow, that's nice. That's actually really nice, right? It turns every single one of your events that have a base cost of 3 or more into a potential cantrip, right? Cantrip, for those who are not aware, for those who might be new to TCGs, that means a card that replaces itself, right? So in other words, if I play a card that does something but then also draws a card, that's referred to as a cantrip. I think it comes from Magic the Gathering. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's from Magic the Gathering. Either way, that is a really powerful effect there. It is just a once per turn effect, of course, but hey, if you play out a very powerful event that does whatever it would normally do, and then now you activate main and just draw a free card from that, I mean, it's just pure card advantage, right? This is just an excellent card. Then the when attacking on your opponent's attack effect, combined with this activate main, I have to say I absolutely love this. It's giving me blue-purple Sanji vibes. Again, for those who might be new to the One Piece trading card game, typically speaking, all of the different decks in this game, they kind of all revolve around a bunch of strong characters and then maybe a few events or stages to help support all the characters in the deck. Well, with blue-purple Sanji and with a leader like this, it actually benefits you to have a bunch of events in your deck, and in this case, even stages, right? So that I really love that. I love when they make leaders that allow me to build in a different way, right? Where I don't have to just build a bunch of characters into my deck. What if I want to build a deck that's just more event heavy? Well, we first kind of saw that, believe it or not, with Blue Nami. Who remembers that? Blue Nami, the self-mill, alternate win condition deck. Then we saw it in a really nice way with, even Blue-Purple Luffy had some good stuff going on there, but we really saw it with Blue-Purple Sanji. Okay, Blue-Purple Sanji became the next one to run a deck that's just almost entirely event focused, right? And now we're seeing Red Blue Lucy. I'm hoping this leader can be built the same way. I do like to see a little bit more diversity in deck building in the game of One Piece, and I don't just mean like colors in leaders, but even the way that the decks are constructed. For example, like I just said, most of the decks in the game of One Piece are very character heavy. Well, can we make more leaders that support running a more event heavy package like this? That would be awesome. Really love this leader's design here, and I get really good vibes from this leader. Like I said, it's like blue purple Sanji vibes. I can't wait to experiment with this leader and mess around with this in the future. Hopefully Bandai will give it enough support to make it competitive. That would be really nice. Okay, let's keep going. Wow, I love this altar, guys. I actually really like this one. Look at that, guys. We got Rebecca in the background. We got Sabo. I mean, Lucy right in the foreground. I mean, Lucy. And then we have Bartolomeo. This is just too cool. Is that Burgess in the background too? This is so awesome. Okay. All right, now onto the characters, guys. We got Alvida, 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter character, East Blue and Alvida Pirates type. With the effect, if this character would be KO'd, you may trash one character card with a power of 6,000 or less from your hand instead, okay? And then activate main once per turn. You may give one of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to one of your opponent's characters. Remember, we talked about that a little bit with the leader. And then give up to one rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. Okay, we have a lot to unpack here. First of all, 5 cost, 6k, 1k counter, and East Blue type. Everything we need for Krieg, right? For the new leader, Krieg. That is awesome. Very powerful. And then if this character be KO'd, you can trash a character from your hand with a power of 6,000 or less to save this character from KO. And that says would be KO'd. So even like in battle or from effects. Really nice protection there. And then we have activate main once per turn. You may give one of your opponent's rested Dawn cards, to one of your opponent's characters, and then give up to one rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. Did you catch that? Give up to one rested Dawn card. So that means yours or your opponent's, and then to one of their characters or leaders. Very technical, very confusing to think about at first, but I think it should start clicking, guys. If you haven't read that effect yet, take a second to consider what's going on there. The first part says you have to give up to one of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to one of their characters, okay? But then the next Dawn card you give, it can be to whoever that Dawn card belongs to, one of their characters or leaders. That is really cool, and that is an activate main effect. So you're going to get to use that every turn, and think about that in conjunction with the leader's effect. Okay, a lot of cool stuff going on here, guys. Very powerful, but we got to keep going. We got a lot more cards to talk about. Next up, whoa, okay, is this the same character? These look a little bit different. These characters look a little bit different to me, I have to say. But no, this alt art is incredible. Love this composition. We got to do a miniature art talk real quick. Look at the circles going around the character, guys. You see this, like this ability she's doing or whatever that is? Like almost like these flames with the flower petals going around the character, completely putting them in their own frame. Even though it's in a card frame, it's putting this character Alvida in her own frame there. Awesome. Gorgeous art. Love it. And it goes so well with the red frame of the actual card itself. Great alt art. A+, S+ alt art here. This looks awesome. Okay, next up we have Seacat, changing directions big time from what we just saw here. We have a 1 cost, 0 power, 1k counter character, animal and alabasta type, with the effect on play if your leader has 0 power or less. If you're okay, it's Alabasta, so it's Nefeltari Vivi, right? Okay, if your leader has 0 power or less, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. Okay, that's cool. Very interesting. Very niche what's going on here. I think this is specifically meant for Red Blue Nefeltari Vivi, the leader. Either way, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this. This is a fine tech card for that kind of deck where it's like, okay, I can pay 1 and give a character minus 3,000 power pretty much, right? If you combo with other effects to give your leader 0 power or less. And then it's a 1k counter character in hand. It is an animal and alabasta type character. Maybe something can happen there. Very cool either way. Not going to spend much time on it. Very interesting tech card. Awesome artwork. Incredible. S+ artwork as well for this one. Okay, next up we have Kabaji. This is a 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue, buggy, pirates type character with the effect when attacking if your opponent has any Dawn cards given. This character gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Okay, wow. Not a once per turn effect, by the way. Who knows? Maybe in the future that can come in handy with future leader designs and stuff like that, or future, just card designs. But okay, so we have a when attacking effect if your opponent has any Dawn cards given. this character gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. So even if they have a Dawn card attached to their leader, this is now a 5,000 power attacking character. Really cool stuff here. It goes right on theme with the East Blue stuff, of course. This is a really cool effect. You love to see it. And, you know, I'm thinking about this now, guys. I can't remember if we talked much about the activate main effect of Krieg, but that's going to be very powerful because there's going to be ways to attach Dawn to your opponent's characters like we saw with Alvida. And that's going to let you rest down their characters, and then like maybe with a card like Kabaji here, well, now you're swinging 5,000 into it, right? Like you give their character that you want to attack into that's active, give them a few Dawn cards, rest them down with the leader effect, and then you're attacking it with Kabaji for, you know, 5,000 without any Dawn invested. Now, let me see one more thing before we move on, guys. I do apologize. Activate main once per turn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters that has 2 or more Dawn cards given. Yeah, I had to check that. There's no cost or power restriction on that activate main effect. Very, very powerful effect there, guys. I don't think I spent enough time talking about that one. I kind of focused more on the power debuff. Either way. Okay, so Kabaji, excellent stuff here. Really good stuff. This is perfect for the East Blue Krieg deck, the Krieg leader. Okay, next up we have Cavendish. We have a 2K counter here. 4 cost, 4,000 power, 2K counter. Dressrosa, beautiful Pirates type character. With the effect, if you have 4 or more events in your trash, this character gains plus 2,000 power. Okay, so this is clearly meant for the new Red-Blue Lucy leader. It's Dressrosa type, of course. And yeah, this is basically a 4-cost 6K that also doubles over as a 2K counter. This is awesome. If we're going to be able to fill up our trash consistently and quickly enough, this card could be a real all-star in a deck like that, where you're basically just playing out a 4-cost 6K early on, and then in the late game, this is a 2K counter. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Gin. This is a 6-cost, 7,000 power, 1K counter, East Blue, Krieg Pirates type character with the effect on play, if your leader has the East Blue type, play up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. I have to say that's really strong, guys. Now, notice the character can be any type. I think I reviewed this card a while ago, and notice your leader has to be East Blue type, but you can play up to 1 character card with a cost of 5 or less from your hand of any type. However, in a deck like Krieg, you're going to want it to be East Blue for your leader's effect, right? For your opponent's turn, your leader's opponent's turn effect, you're going to want it to be an East Blue card. But I do like the fact that they left that open for future leader designs. Any type of red East Blue leader in the future, you're going to be able to run this Gin card, and then also combo 5-cost cards from other types, not necessarily East Blue, to combo with this. This is really cool. Big fan of this card. 6-cost 7K with a 1K counter. There is no weakness in the stat line, and then on play you're cheating on a 5-cost. Really, really powerful stuff here. Okay, there's the altar. Very cool looking. That one looks awesome. A lot of action going on here. Very, very dynamic pose. At least they're making it look that way with all the whooshing and swirls going on. Looks really, really cool. Okay, he's about to punch us. Look at this, guys. The fist is right in our face as the viewer. Okay, next up we have Krieg. 8 cost, 9,000 power, East Blue, Krieg Pirates type character. This character is massive, guys. 8 cost, 9K. And then on play, give up to 3 of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to one of your opponent's characters. Then this character gains Rush during this turn. And then activate main once per turn. If this character was played on this turn, give all of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn for every Dawn card given to that character. Okay, and that works on all of their characters, by the way. If this is the turn you played Krieg, if this character was played on this turn, give all of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn for every Dawn card given to that character. So that is really powerful, guys. This is going to kind of work probably as like a pseudo board clear if there's enough Dawn passed around on the board. Yes, this character can give 3 Dawn cards, but think about it. If your opponent maybe attacked for 7K with 1 character by attaching a Dawn, 1 Dawn here, 1 Dawn there, 1 Dawn everywhere, right? And then you give 3 Dawn to where you need it, and now you're attacking it with this character because it has Rush with the on-play effect. Well, now you're smashing in for, you know, so much big attacks into a bunch of little characters because of the Dawn debuff. I really do like that, guys. I have to say, so Dawn on your turn, it says, you know, your turn plus 1,000. Or plus 1,000 power, right? That's what a Dawn card says at the bottom of the card. Your turn plus 1,000 power. I like this idea of turning Dawn, your opponent's Dawn, into debuffs on their, you know, on your turn, right? That is a really cool idea. Again, hate to sound like a broken record, but I hope Bandai experiments with that more in the future. Okay, now back to this card. Looks awesome. Look, really good looking card with all the red, the blacks, and the golds. That looks incredible. And the actual card itself seems very, very powerful. 8 costs 9k. You're basically giving one character minus 3,000 power for the turn, and you're rushing in to deal with it. Really, really good stuff here. Big fan of this card. Okay, there's the alt art. Not bad. Not bad. It looks a little bit like almost like too digitalized or something like that with the flames in the background. I don't like this one as much as some of the other ones we already saw. And I have to say, I don't even like it as much as the standard art. This standard art just looks incredible to me. Personal preference, but they both look fine. They both look good, but I really, really love this standard art here. Okay. Excuse me. Next up, we have Kobe. We have a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 2k counter, East Blue Navy type character with the effect, if your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may give your leader minus 2,000 power during this turn instead. Now, get used to that, guys. I believe they gave every color. I think I covered this in a previous spoiler video. In OP15, I believe Bandai gave every single color, as in red, green, blue, purple, black, and yellow. I think they gave every one of those colors a 1 cost, 2k counter, like what you see here, removal prevention card. And then it's based around whatever the color's flavor does, right? So keep that in your mind. This is the red version. Very powerful stuff here. If your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, any type of effect, you may give your leader minus 2,000 power during this turn instead. Really solid utility 2k counter. This might be able to find a way into every single type of red deck. It's just a good, solid utility 2k counter with prevention or protection built in. Okay, next up we have Nezumi. This is a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Navy type character with the effect, activate main once per turn, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. Did you catch that, guys? Give up to 1 rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. Very interesting effect. Goes perfectly with Krieg. Really good stuff here. Very cool mechanic. I'm really loving that. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Pearl. That is a wild picture there, guys. What is going on? So we have a 4 cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Krieg Pirates type character with the effect, on your opponent's turn, if your leader has the East Blue type, this character gains blocker and plus 2,000 power. Very nice. So this ends up being a 4 cost, 6k blocker, 4 cost, 6,000 power blocker for East Blue leaders. Very solid. And then on KO, if your leader has the East Blue type, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. If your leader has the East Blue type, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 base power or less. Wow. Very strong effect here, guys. This is almost like it's a 4 cost 6k blocker that also has Lucky Ruse effect built into it, right? That is really cool. Very powerful effect here. Very strong blocker. And let's not forget, if you have a Dawn, I think, what is it, a Dawn attached to your leader, and all your characters are East Blue, well, you're debuffing their entire board by 2,000, and now they have to swing over a 6,000 power blocker. And now, okay, I was going to say, wait a minute. Okay, it does go off of base power. It's a good thing they did that, because that could have been terrifying to attack into if it was not going off base power with all of the power reduction built into what we're seeing. That could have been disgusting, but it is going off base power. Good job there, Bandai, for catching that one. That would have been crazy otherwise, I think. Okay, very cool card though. 4 cost 6k blocker with a 1k counter. And think of it like this, guys. On offense, if this card survives, if you can debuff their board a bunch with the card we just saw a minute ago with this Krieg card, if you can just debuff their board, well, now you could just attack in with your 4,000 power Pearl and maybe do a lot of damage. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Buggy, 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Buggy Pirates type character with the effect, when attacking, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. And then on KO, draw 1 card. Very nice. So a lot of utility here for the Krieg Pirates type stuff. You know, this whole East Blue package here is really solid. When attacking, you're going to give up to 1 rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. And then if this card gets KO'd, you're drawing a card. Really nice on KO draw card effect there. But think of it like this, guys. This is at minimum a 3 cost 5k, because you could do other effects, of course, with that when attacking effect, but you could just attack in with this character and then give up to 1 rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or one of their characters. So you can put it on this character or on your leader or whatever you have to do. Put on your opponent's character so that way you can use your other effects. A lot of utility with this card. This is an excellent card. I think this is a very well-designed card for this theme. Okay, next up we have Pincers, 4 cost, 2,000 power, 2k counter, Animal Alabasta type character with the effect, if your leader has 0 power or less, give this card in your hand -2 cost. Okay, and then it's a blocker. So this is basically in a Nefeltari Vivi Alabasta type deck. This is a 2 cost blocker, and it's a 2k counter, and it's Animal / Alabasta searchable. That could be interesting. Who knows if you can combo something with Animal there. Maybe like the 3 cost 5k. I think they call it Book Chopper. You know, maybe there's stuff they could do there. Or Mirror Chopper, Book Chopper. I can't remember what they call it. Either way, this could have some potential in an Animal type of deck. But otherwise, a 2k counter with blocker built in, that's always pretty decent. Okay, next up we have Bartolomeo. This is a 4 cost, 6,000 power character with no counter. This is a Dressrosa Bardo Club type character with the effect, if this character would be KO'd, you may trash 1 event from your hand instead. Okay, that goes perfectly with Lucy's type of leader effect there, or with that whole theme. And then we have on play, activate up to 1 Dressrosa type event with a base cost of 3 or less from your hand. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. So this card, I have to say, has a lot of potential. Imagine how this might go in Red Blue Lucy. Let's just say say we went second and it's turn 2, so we play this card out on curve. Well, we just established a 4 cost 6k. As far as like value goes, that's already good enough, right? But then on play, we get to activate up to 1 of our Dressrosa type events with a base cost of 3 or less from our hand. Okay, well now we're playing that card out from our hand to do whatever that effect does. Then we're going to use our activate main effect of our leader to draw a card back. So we don't actually go backwards in card. We actually go -1 in in hand size for playing out the Bartolomeo. But after playing out the event, you would think like, oh man, we went -2 cards in hand. That's not really good unless the effect was really powerful. But we actually break even with the with the extra card from our hand from our leader effect. So imagine if we play out a card that also draws a card. Well, now we're actually just drawing cards, right? We're just going through our deck and fixing our hand and all that good stuff while developing a 4 cost 6k body. Really big fan of this effect here and this character and what's going on here. Really good stuff here. All right, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Higuma. This is a 1 cost, 1,000 power, 2k counter, East Blue Mountain Bandits type character. With the effect, on play, give up to 1 of your opponent's Rested Dawn cards to 1 of your opponent's characters. Then give -1,000 power during this turn to up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a Dawn card given. Okay, so 2k counter card here. It can give a Dawn to a character, and it can debuff the character. It has a lot of utility. It is an East Blue card as well, which is relevant, of course, right, for defense and all that. So, like, this is a solid card. It's a 2k counter at the end of the day, I think, that has a little bit of extra value. Being able to attach a Dawn card to an opponent's character, that is no joke. But at the same time, you probably aren't going to need to use that unless maybe you have to swing past one of your opponent's blockers or something. Maybe you can combo this with another Dawn attachment card, because I think the leader didn't require you to have 2 Dawn cards given to the character. So, this card could be very good for helping you swing past blockers to swing for lethal in the late game, and it's a 2k counter throughout the game. Good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Full Body. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter Navy character. This is just a 5 cost, 6k, 2k counter vanilla character with no effect, no base effect. Very nice. I was wondering where the vanilla cards were. I was like, man, are there just none of them in this entire set? And I know some people would prefer that, but I actually think that the vanilla cards are very important for Sealed. I know Sealed is just like 1 day of the entire set release, right? Or maybe like 1 week of the entire release, but still, Sealed is a thing, and I like having access to cards like this that have decent stat lines, and then you can choose between 1k counters and 2k counters. Good stuff here, though. All right, let's keep going. I spent way too much time on this vanilla, guys. 5 cost, 6k, 2k counter, vanilla character. You love to see it. Okay, next up is Morgan. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Navy type character with the effect blocker and activate main. You may give 1 of your opponent's Rested Dawn cards to 1 of your opponent's characters, and then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to its owner's leader or 1 of their characters. So we have seen a similar, if not identical, effect to that earlier on. This is a 5 cost, 6k, 1k counter blocker with that activate main, helping you really, I think that's going to really help you battle for the board, basically, where it's like, okay, I'm going to develop Morgan, and then I'm going to activate main to give a Dawn to my opponent's character, and then I'm going to give that character another Rested Dawn, and now I'm going to rest it down my leader, and then I'm going to attack into their board like that, and now I have a 5 cost 6k blocker, and I can just go from there, right? So I think this is a really, really solid card here, very strong, and I think it's perfect for what you're trying to do with the Krieg, with that whole red-green Krieg leaders, kit. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Moji. This is a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Buggy Pirates type character with the effect, when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less with a Dawn card given. Whoa, okay. And that's not base power, by the way. So, 2-cost, 3k, 1k counter character, when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less with a Dawn card given to it. So basically, it just has to have a Dawn card given to it, and then you just have to find a way to get its power down to 3,000 or less. That's pretty strong, actually. I think this is a pretty solid card. Very interesting. I wonder if people are going to be able to make this work. It will really depend on what's going on in the format. If there's too much, I was going to say maybe there will be too much removal prevention, but this will probably be able to take care of that early on, and then you can go from there. Very interesting card. I'm curious to see if this makes it into the main deck of Red Green Krieg. All right, moving on to the event cards, guys. We got Barrier Bulls. This is a 3-cost Dressrosa Bardo Club type event. 3 cost is very relevant, right, for the leader's effect. The effect is main, draw 1 card, and your leader gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Nice, very nice. Okay, then we have trigger, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 power during this turn. Very powerful trigger, guys. That can win you a game if your opponent was trying to attack out with like a 9k character at the end of the at the end of all the attacks to try to win. If this is your last life card, boom, minus 4,000 power. That could be powerful. That could be really, really strong. Good trigger, and then 3 costs. You're drawing a card. So remember, with your leader effect, you're basically drawing 2 cards with this effect. So you need to read this, like in Red Blue Lucy, you need to read this effect as pay 3, draw 2 cards. And your leader gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Really nice, guys. So your leader will be 6k on your turn and their turn. Really, really solid stuff here. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Fire Fist. This is a 7-cost Dressrosa Revolutionary Army type event. 7 cost. Okay, this is a really big event here. The main effect is your leader gains plus 3,000 power during this turn and give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 8,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Okay, then you may trash 2 cards from your hand. If you do, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 0 power or less. I don't like that. I don't like that part, guys. I'm not going to lie. Trash 2 cards from your hand? Why not just 1? Why not just 1? Either way, I guess this is like, you're going to draw a card from your leader effect, right? I think Red Blue Lucy said if it's just a 3-cost or higher, a 3-cost or more Dressrosa type event, you get to draw a card from the effect. So I guess, you will draw a card, but trashing 2 cards is pretty steep. Now, you are giving, for 7 Dawn, you're getting an 11,000 power difference. An 11,000 power difference. But you're only going to be able to KO a 0 power character. So I guess this will help you go for lethal when needed. If your opponent just has like a single blocker left over and they're 8,000 or under, you're going to be able to go, okay, pay 7 and now, do this whole effect here. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the trash 2. I feel like that's a little steep. I think it should be trash 1. Because remember, guys, you're playing out this event. That's minus 1 card from your hand. And then you're trashing 2 cards from your hand. Now, yes, the effect is very powerful. You would hope it is. You're losing 3 cards from your hand and paying 7 to not develop a character on the board just to remove a character. Or potentially remove, you're trying to remove one of their characters, right? Hopefully it's going to be something you can hit. And 8,000 power is a lot, you should hit a lot in that range. But overall, I do think the card is still very powerful. I think I'm just not a fan of the Trash 2 effect for the KO. I think that's too much. That's just me personally, because remember, this card, this is not a card that's developing your characters. It's giving your leader plus 3,000 for the turn, and then it's giving one of your opponent's characters minus 8,000 power for the turn. And then if you trash 2 more cards from your hand, you can KO a character with a power of 0 or less. It's not terrible, like I said. I think it's actually very powerful, but at the same time, something doesn't sit right with me with that Trash 2. All right, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Just Watch Me, Ace. This is a 4-cost Dressrosa event, Revolutionary Army type as well, with the effect, if you have 4 or more events in your trash, give this card in your hand minus 3 cost. Okay, here we go. So it ends up being a 1. It ends up being a 1 cost. This is a main and counter event. You can use on your turn or your opponent's turn. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. Very nice. Okay, very nice. Yeah. No trigger, though. I feel like there's a trigger missing on this card or something. What do you guys think? Is there like a trigger missing on this card? Do you guys feel that way? Like there's just too much open, there's too much open box there. I don't know. And the effect does not seem crazy to me. Because let me tell you right now, guys, paying 4 to give one of your opponent's characters, not leader, one of your opponent's characters, minus 3,000 power for the turn. Not great. It's not great. I understand that it will work with your leader's effect if you use it for a main effect. And who knows, maybe it's meant to combo with Fire Fist. Let me see something. If you have 4 or more events in your trash, give this card in your hand minus 3 cost. Okay, so let's say you're on like an 8 Dawn turn, you have 4 more events in your trash. I guess maybe you can pay 1 to give a character minus 3,000, and then this will give it minus 8,000 more, and now you can hit 11k. Is that the combo we're going for? And the base cost for this card is 4 or, you know, it's 3 or more, so you will be able to draw a card with the leader effect. Oh man, I don't like this card that much. I don't know what it is, guys. I was hoping for more. Maybe I'm just selfish. Maybe I'm, or not selfish. Maybe I'm being too greedy. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. This card, Fire Fist, and this card, Just Watch Me, Ace, kind of disappointed me a little tiny bit. Especially, guys, this is a 7-cost event. It's a 7-cost event, and it buffs your leader. It doesn't even give you the option to buff your character or leader. It only buffs your leader, and then gives one of your opponent's characters minus 8,000 power. Does not have a trigger built into it. It does not have KO built into it, actually, unless you want to trash 2 cards from your hand. This one rubbed me the wrong way, I have to say. Do you guys feel the same, or am I making too much out of this? I got to keep going either way. And then this card right here, so what? We can, as the best we can make this card is a 1-cost minus 3k? That's just normal. A 1-cost 3k counter is normal. Yeah, this gives minus 3,000 power to a character for the turn. It doesn't even hit their leader. But this, I mean, if it hit the leader, that'd be insane, obviously, because, I mean, it's a main or counter event. But I'm just saying, this can only hit a character. So if you're trying to use this in a defensive way for the counter, you're paying 1 for a 3k counter. What is the upside, I guess? Like, why would this card cost 4? Is it just so we can draw a card from it with our leader's effect on our turn? I don't know. Something's not sitting right with me, guys. The fact that this card does not have a trigger, the fact that this card does not have a trigger, it's rubbing me the wrong way. Someone help me out in the comment section below. My apologies. We got stuck up on that one, but we got to keep going. All right, guys, moving on to the green cards, and I'm going to try to pick up the pace or else this video is going to run forever. I gotta speed things up, so y'all bear with me, guys. Here we go. Moving into the green cards. Starting off strong, starting off hot here, we got Brooke, a brand new leader, 4 life, 5,000 power, green-black colors, okay? And then we have Straw Hat Crew type with the effect, under the rules of this game, you do not lose when your deck has 0 cards. For all the new players out there, you typically would, okay? But with Brooke, you do not. Instead, you lose at the end of the turn in which your deck becomes 0 cards, okay? And then we have Activate Main, once per turn, trash 4 cards from the top of your deck. Then, if your deck has 0 cards, set up to one of your characters as active. So basically what we're doing with this leader effect is we're just filling up our trash. It doesn't really do anything else if you think about it, right? You're literally just trashing 4 cards from the top of your deck. And you can start doing that all the way on turn 1. But then it says if your deck has 0 cards, set up to one of your characters as active. So I think the whole entire design idea behind this leader is, okay, you know, we're running green and black, so we're going to fill up a bunch of cards in our trash with our Activate Main, you know, our leader's Activate Main effect. We're just going to keep filling up a bunch of cards in our trash. We're going to cash in on some of those cards, maybe with recursion effects or something like that, or our cards are going to get buffed up by having more cards in our trash. And then at the very end of the game, right, once we get down to the very end of the game where we have to go all in, if we can get down to 0 cards in our deck, we can basically use our Activate Main effect to get there. So say you're at 4 or less cards in your deck at the end of the game. Okay, no problem. Then you can Activate Main once per turn, trash 4 cards from the top of your deck. Then, if your deck has 0 cards, you can set up to one of your characters as active. So the whole idea there is we're going to load up all of our Dawn on maybe like 1 or 2 characters, go all the way out across the board, attack all in, and then we're going to mill ourselves, like, you know, pretty much milling ourselves out to lose the game at the end of this turn, but then we're going to set one of our characters as active to try to punch through for lethal. So very cool effect there, very interesting. I'm not totally in love with it, I have to say, because ultimately this Activate Main effect is just mill the top four cards of your deck. You're only going to get to use that last effect there to stand a character's active 1 time, okay? But filling up your trash, that's no joke. You can do a lot with that, okay? Especially if Bandai gives us enough support to go along with it. Okay, so let's keep going. All right, then we have the alt art for Brook. This looks awesome. Very cool stuff going on here. Look how happy Brook is, man. He's hanging out with Luffy. He's having a good time. He's hanging out with the whole crew. Surrounded by cool people, right? Okay, next up we have Arlong. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, Fishman, East Blue, Arlong Pirates type character with the effect on KO up to 2 of your opponent's rested cards. Okay, up to 2 of your opponent's rested cards will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Very powerful on KO effect. It's going to make KOing this character very annoying. Very good stuff here. And then we have activate main once per turn. You may give 1 of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to 1 of your opponent's characters, and then give up to 1 rested Dawn card from its owner's cost area to its owner's leader or 1 of their characters. So very nice. This is very much on theme for the East Blue stuff with the Krieg Pirate stuff, or the new Krieg leader coming out. Really good stuff here. Not too much else to talk about. That on KO effect is super annoying, and the stat line on this character is actually very, very strong. Being a 4-cost 5k, has a 1k counter built in. It's got East Blue built in. Annoying on KO, and the activate main is going to help push Dawn around. A lot of good stuff going on here. Very solid character. Okay, next up we have Usopp. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, Straw Hat Crew type character. With the effect opponent's turn, this character cannot be rested by your opponent's leader and character effects and gains blocker. Okay, hang on. On your opponent's turn, this character cannot be rested by your opponent's leader and character effects. Okay? And it gains blocker. So a 4-cost 5k with blocker on your opponent's turn, and then on KO, rest up to 1 of your opponent's leaders or character cards with a cost of 7 or less. Wow, very, very powerful defensive card here, and they can't rest this card. They can't rest this, well, hang on. This character cannot be rested by your opponent's leader and character effects. So other effects can, if I'm understanding this correctly, maybe like an event card can rest this card down, but not your opponent's leader and character effects. And it has blockers. That's really solid. And then the on KO effects to rest down a leader or character with a cost of 7 or less. That's really solid as well. Big fan of this card. This is a pretty interesting design here. Pretty interesting design. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Kuro. Kuro is a 7-cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue, Black Cat Pirates type character with the effect blocker. So 7-cost, 7k blocker with a 1k counter. Okay, very nice stat line so far. And then on play, give up to 2 Dawn cards from your opponent's cost area to 1 of your opponent's characters. Then, at the end of this turn, up to 1 rested character with 3 or more Dawn cards given will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Then, hang on, that's interesting. Then at the end of this turn, up to 1 rested character with 3 or more Dawn cards given will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. So are you going to get to choose that when you activate the on play effect? That's a really odd, like the way that that's worded and phrased there is actually very weird to me. Give up to 2 Dawn cards from your opponent's cost area to 1 of your opponent's characters. Okay, that part's obvious, right? That part's very easy to understand. But then at the end of this turn, up to 1 rested character with 3 or more Dawn cards given to it will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Up to 1 rested character with 3 or more Dawn cards given will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. I don't know, maybe you have to choose it right then. Maybe like when you activate this effect, the on-play effect, you have to give up to 2 rested Dawn cards, and then you have to choose up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters with 3 or more Dawn cards. And that character will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Is that how it's worded, guys? Sorry if that got a little bit technical. That's a very interesting effect. I would imagine that's how it works, where you have to attach a Dawn to the character first, and then use Kuro, play out your Kuro, use their on-play effects to attach 2 more Dawn cards to the character, and then you can lock it down. I would imagine. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. Either way, 7-cost, 7,000 power character with a 1k counter and blocker, East Blue type. Yeah, this is excellent. But this card does have to battle with another very powerful 7-cost green East Blue character in Shanks. We'll have to see what happens there. 7 cost might be a very very crowded spot within this, because of Shanks. We'll have to see. Okay, next up we have an alt art for Kuro. Very cool looking. Okay, it almost looks like the blades are bent backwards in this one, whereas, oh no, maybe that's just how they look, actually, never mind. I was going to say, with the way he's slashing, it's almost like the blades were bending or something, but no, I think that's just actually how they look. Very cool. Okay, next up we have Django. We have a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue, Black Cat, Pirates type character with the effect, look at 3 cards. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 East Blue type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so here we go. Now we have the searcher for East Blue. I was wondering where that was, right? I was like, wait a minute. There wasn't one in red, was there? But now here's one in green. Very good stuff here. It's just a top 3 search for East Blue, but look at this activate main, guys. I have seen this card before. Activate main, you may trash this character and give up to 1 of your opponent's rested Dawn cards to 1 of your opponent's characters. Okay, so again, just perfectly on theme for the East Blue stuff, and it's a searcher. Really good stuff here. Let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Dracula Mihawk. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 2k counter, East Blue, 7 Warlords of the Sea type character with an on play effect that says rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a Dawn card given. Okay, wow. Guys, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters. Doesn't matter what power it is, doesn't matter what the cost is. Rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a Dawn card given to it. It just has to have a Dawn card given, and we have ways to do that, in this, with this whole East Blue package. Very, very powerful card here, and it's a 4 cost 5k and a 2k counter. Yeah, this is solid. Really, really good card here. Big fan of this one. Okay, next up we have the Meow Band Brothers. This is a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 2k counter character, East Blue and Black Cat Pirates type, with the effect on play, if your leader has the East Blue type, give up to 1 Dawn card from your opponent's cost area to 1 of your opponent's characters. Okay, very standard type of effect for this kind of East Blue package here. Very nice, and it's on a 2k counter body, East Blue searchable. Good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Bartholomew Kuma. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, 7 Warlords of the Sea and Revolutionary Army type character with the effect on play up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Okay, so this is kind of like a 4 cost version of the 5 cost 6k Perona that came out. I think it was an OP15. I think it's, pretty much, like a common 4 cost version, right? That was an SR, right? It was a super rare, the Perona was, but this is a 4 cost common version of that kind of effect where you can only hit up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, but that character will not be cannot be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So it cannot block and it cannot attack. Really, really powerful stuff here. Okay, very solid 4 cost 5k stat line with the 1k counter and utility to get around blockers or just to get around attackers that are 5 costs or less. Good stuff here. Okay, let's keep going. Next up is Hyozu. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter, Merfolk Fishman Island type character, but it is just a vanilla character with no base effect, just a 5 cost 6k with a 2k counter. Okay, next up we have Purin, not sure how to say that. Sorry, guys. I know y'all yell at me for my pronunciations. I don't watch the show. You have to remember that, guys, and I don't read the manga, watch the anime, none of that, so I don't know how all these names are pronounced. Y'all be nice. But we have a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue Navy type character with the effect on play, select up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters. If the chosen character has a cost equal to the number of Dawn cards given to it, KO it. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think we can do too much with this kind of effect just yet, but I guess you can technically combo it with something like the new Dawn Krieg. I think it's an 8 cost red character that we saw earlier in the red cards. On a 10 Dawn turn, I think you can attach 3 Dawn to a character with that effect, and then maybe if it's a 3 cost or lower character, you can just KO it with this on play effect. Yeah, on play, select up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters, and if the chosen character has a cost equal to the number of Dawn cards given to it, KO it. That's interesting. Very interesting. They're doing so much already now. This is the first time we've seen Bandai introduce this new idea of giving your opponent's rested Dawn cards to their own characters, and they're doing so much with it. We're seeing power reduction. We're seeing KO based on how many Dawn are attached. A lot of cool stuff going on here. Big fan. All right, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Brooke. We have very cool looking picture here. We have a 6 cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter, Straw Hat Crew character, Brooke, with the effect on play, rest up to 1 of your opponent's cards. So Dawn, character, leader, I guess, if you want to do that, right? No, but seriously, that's really powerful. Rest up to one of your opponent's cards on play, and this is a 6-cost 6K body. And then we have activate main. You may trash this character, and if your leader has the Straw Hat Crew type, set up to one of your characters with a base cost of 8 or less as active. Really strong card here, guys. I would imagine what they're probably trying to do is make it where, like, you just set your whole board up with a bunch of effects like this Brook and your leader's effect, and then maybe you just, like, smash all out with all your cards, and then you just stand one card a bunch of times and just do a bunch of attacks with a single character. That could be very cool. That could be really interesting. Either way, this is just a strong card. It's a 6-cost 6K with a 1K counter, like I was saying earlier. On play, you're resting one of your opponent's cards, so you can rest down a character and attack into that, or rest down a Dawn. Now you don't have to worry about their defensive event. A lot of good stuff going on with that on play effect. And then activate main, trash this character, and if your leader has Straw Hat Crew type, set up to one of your characters with a base cost of 8 or less as active, so you're getting an extra attack in. Really, really good stuff here. Very powerful card effect. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have the alt art. Oh my goodness, this one's good. Guys, this alt art is... It's incredible. It's immaculate. This is gorgeous, guys. Look, you see him playing the what is it, like a violin there, and it says rumbar in the back. So is that like, is he having a flashback? Is he having a memory here? And I love how they did that. He's hitting the strings on what I think is a violin. I'm pretty sure. I don't know my classical instruments that well, but he's hitting the strings on that. And look at the music has like a power about it, and it's like flying through the air and wrapping around. This is amazing. This is so good, guys. And I love music. I love music. I do play guitar, so again, I'm pretty sure that's a violin. I don't know what I'm overthinking. I mean, I think a mandolin, I think, has like the 8 strings, right? It's like a 8-string type of violin. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, really good-looking art piece here. This is incredible. Really love this. Oh my goodness. And he's just crying, dude. Like I said, is he just having like a flashback? This is incredible. All right, let me keep going. Okay, next up is Hody Jones, 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter, Fishman, Fishman Island, new Fishman Pirates type. Okay, we get it. He's a Fishman, okay? He's a Fishman, Fishman Island, new Fishman Pirates type. With the effect, on play, set your Fishman type leader as active, okay? Then add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Do we have some Hody Jones support here, guys? I mean, obviously, right? This card's name is actually Hody Jones. But yeah, 4-cost 5K, 1K counter character, has all the Fishman types there. And then the effect, on play, set your Fishman type leader as active. Then add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. It's been a long time since I've played the GOAT Hody Jones. But if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he have to rest his leader to make it where you can do some type of effect, and then you don't lose your own life cards from all of your Hody Jones effects? And then this card's saying, all right, set your Fishman leader as active, and then add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Well, you won't do that because it's, you know, worked into the Hody Jones effect. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. It's been a long time since I played the GOAT Hody Jones. No, but seriously, this card could be perfect for that. Very cool design here. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Yorkie. This is a 1-cost, 0-power, 2K counter character. Is that Laboon in the background? Whoa, that's cool. Okay, this is a Rumbar Pirates type character. Wait a minute. Rumbar Pirates. Let's go. Okay, and this card says, effect on your turn, on play, up to one of your Brook cards gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Okay, very cool. Up to one of your Brook cards gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Okay, that's kind of whatever, right? It does say your Brook cards, so it can be your character or your leader named Brook. But it's a 2K counter, Rumbar Pirate searchable. I think it's fine. Nothing too much to talk about here. There could be some value in it, of course, because, I mean, even if you are using it to buff your leader, you're basically paying 1 Dawn to swing for an extra 2,000. So it doubles your Dawn for 1 Dawn. However you want to say that, right? Sorry, that was a little bit clumsy. What I'm saying is this. If you attach 1 Dawn to your leader, you get 1,000 power, right? Well, if you just play out this Yorkie for that 1 Dawn, you give your leader plus 2,000 power, and then you still have the other Dawn to work with. That's all I was trying to say. All right, let's keep going. Next up, we have Laboon. Okay, this is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 2K counter animal type character with the effect, if your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest 2 of your cards instead. Here we go, guys. Remember, we already saw this with Kobe, but this one has the green flavor, the green theme, where it says, if your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, rest 2 of your cards instead. Remember, with Kobe, I think you had to reduce the power of your character or leader by 2,000 or something like that, but this has you rest 2 of your cards instead. And it's a 1-cost character with a 2k counter, very solid, very, it's like a very malleable type of design. A 1-cost card that's a 2k counter defensively in hand and can protect your board from, it can protect any type of card. It just has to be a 7,000 base power or less character. All right, let's keep going. Next up, we have Ryuma. Check him out. Okay, 6 cost, 8,000 power character. No counter, but then we have a Land of Wano Thriller Bark Pirates type, and the effect is on play and when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 4 or less. Okay, that is an on play and when attacking. And remember, guys, with the 4 cost 6k Ryuma, I believe that was an on play and on KO to KO a 4 or less, a rested 4 or less, but this is an on play and when attacking. And it's a 6 cost 8k. This is a massive character, really cool stuff here, and it's Land of Wano and Thriller Bark Pirates type. Big fan of this card design, could be very, very strong. And a 6 cost 8k, that's massive. And every time it attacks, it's potentially wiping out a rested character. Seems good. Okay. Next up, we got the events here for green. It's the first one up is the outcome will tell us who's strong and who's weak. Okay, this is a 1-cost East Blue Krieg Pirates type of event with the effect main. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 East Blue type card other than the outcome will tell us who's strong and who's weak, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then the trigger draws a card. Very nice. So it's just a top 5 searcher for East Blue. Seems good. Nothing really too much to talk about here. And the trigger just draws you a card. Doesn't let you search, just draw 1 card. Nothing, again, not too much to talk about here. Just a solid 1-cost top 5 searcher event. Okay, next up we have It's an Order, Do Not Defy Me. This is a 1-cost East Blue Krieg Pirates type event with the effect main up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 8 or less that has 2 or more Dawn cards given will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Okay, so you're paying 1 to lock down an 8-cost character. Not bad. And yes, you do have to get 2 Dawn attached to them in some way or given to them in some way. But remember, guys, that's kind of the whole theme of this deck, right? Or at least of this East Blue, Red, Green, deck or type or whatever, package. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, and then we have a 1-cost 4k here, guys. The counter effect is up to one of your Krieg cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. It can only hit your Krieg card, so it could be a character or leader named Krieg, but still 1-cost 4k, very powerful, guys. And then it has that lockdown effect built in. Very nice. All right, guys, moving over to the blue cards. Starting off with the leader, Rebecca. This is a 5 life, 5,000 power, blue Dressrosa type leader. Now, remember, guys, we already had 1 blue Dressrosa leader, right? We had red, blue, Lucy. Okay, that was covered over in the red cards because it had red in it. But now we have a mono blue Dressrosa type leader, Rebecca, with 5 life, 5,000 power, and the effect, this leader cannot attack. Okay, that's just like the blue-black Rebecca we saw in the past, right? And then we have Activate Main. You may rest this leader and return one of your Dressrosa type characters to the owner's hand. And then play up to 1 Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 3 from your hand. Not 3 or less, by the way, exactly 3. Okay, so here we go again with another Rebecca that cannot attack. Not exactly surprising, I guess. Really good looking art on this card, looks really cool. And I'm not a huge fan of that in general, but I do get it. I mean, I kind of talked about this earlier, right? When I was really hyping up Red Blue Lucy, which is another, like I said, another blue Dressrosa type leader. I love how that leader is because it's pushing the game in a slightly different direction. It's adding more like diversity to the game as far as like, okay, we're gonna build this leader with more events than we have characters probably, which is uncommon in the game. Well, with Rebecca, these leaders that cannot attack, I'm not a huge fan of those, but I will say it does, again, add some diversity, to the game where, okay, this leader can't attack, which is not common, right? That's not very common. Most leaders can attack. So it's not the worst thing in the world when a leader cannot attack, but I don't think Bandai has fully figured it out yet, how to make those leaders extremely relevant. I think they're doing better and better each time. I think Vegapunk was actually pretty solid. Blue-Black Rebecca was actually kind of decent when it first came out, but once people kind of figured out what was going on there, I feel like it fell off pretty drastically. But, you know, Blue-Black Rebecca was okay. You know, Vegapunk was actually pretty decent. I think a lot of people still play that leader and have a lot of fun and some pretty decent success with that leader. And now even Green-Yellow Shirahoshi's picking up steam. And I'm sure there's other leaders out there that I forgot. I know Iceberg's in that conversation and for leaders that cannot attack, and there might be a few others I can't remember. But here we go. Here's the newest one. We have Blue Rebecca now from OP15. And the activate main effect is, it is very interesting. You may rest this leader. Well, okay, we don't care if we rest the leader, right? Because, you know, it doesn't matter. We can't attack. So, we'll rest this leader, and we'll return one of our Dressrosa type characters to the owner's hand, and then we're going to play up to one Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 3 from our hand. So I'm hoping there's going to be some kind of support for Rebecca that's going to allow us to pull back a searcher and cheat out some very relevant 3-cost character, right? That, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Or even a really powerful character, like a, you know, maybe even like a 10-cost character or something like, you know, let's just say like a 5 to 10-cost character that we want to keep replaying, the, you know, and reusing their on-play effect and protecting the card after they get to attack. That could be really strong. In fact, the more I'm thinking about it, a really strong 5-cost character, Dressrosa type, of course, that could be really, really powerful. Because imagine if it has an on-play effect that's worth doubling up on. Imagine on a 10-Dawn turn, if we play out a 5-cost Dressrosa card, or character, excuse me, with a super powerful on-play effect, and then activate main, rest our leader, pull it back to our hand, and then replay it, and then we get to cheat on a 3-cost, of course, you know, with that effect as well, you know, when we pull the card back. There's some potential here for sure. It'll all depend on the support that this leader gets. So let's check it out. Okay, so that's Rebecca. Okay, here comes the Altar. Very nice. Okay, that's really good. That dress just absolutely pops, and they made sure to make a nice black outline. Y'all see the black outline they did on the actual dress, really separating it from the background and like forcing it into the foreground. This is a good-looking piece. This is a really nice-looking piece of artwork here. Kairos looks a little weird. I will say the face is looking a little bit weird. I don't remember him looking like that, but hey, that's fine. He at least looks strong back there. He's, you know, he's got his hands up on his sword there. He's ready to defend his family. This is awesome. Okay. All right, next up, we got Viola. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 2K counter, Dressrosa Don Quixote Pirates type character with the effect on play. Here we go right away, guys. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, this is exactly what I was asking for. So we have to go back to the leader real quick here. Activate main, rest this leader, and return one of your Dressrosa type characters to the owner's hand, and play up to 1 Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 3 from your hand. Okay, wow. So with that effect that we just looked at, guys, let me go forward. With this Viola, and this is a 2K counter. Wow, that's really strong. So it's a 1-cost top 3 search 2K counter Dressrosa card. So we can play out this Viola, let's say we're going first, right? Or second, it doesn't matter, but let's just say we're going first. Turn 1, we play out Viola, top 3 search, activate main with our leader, resting our leader down, pulling this Viola back, and then playing out a 3-cost card from our hand. There's got to be a good 3-cost card. I know with Blue-Black Rebecca back in OP04 or whatever it was, we had a 3-cost Kairos. I would imagine they do something similar to that, and I think I may have even seen the Kairos. I think once I see it again, maybe I'll remember it. But either way, that's not bad already. Really loving the design of this Viola with the leader, Rebecca. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have Orlumbus. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter, Dressrosa Yanta Maria fleet type character with the effect on KO, draw a card. Okay, very nice. And then activate main. I feel like they should have had the on KO at the bottom and then the activate main above that. Maybe I'm just being picky. I'm sorry, guys. That's just how my brain works. It's like, wait a minute. The activate main should come first, and then on KO should be at the bottom. I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way? Am I crazy on that one? Sorry, guys. A little off topic there, a little out of nowhere. Activate main once per turn. You may place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck. This character gains rush during this turn. Okay, hang on. Activate main once per turn. You may place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck, and then this character gains rush during this turn. Okay, well maybe there's going to be a 1-cost card that we don't want to pull back to our hand that we can use with this activate main effect. We'll have to keep this one in mind, guys, but this is a 3-cost character at least. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter character, so this is a card we can cheat out with the leader's effect while pulling back one of our Dressrosa type cards. And then if this card gets KO'd, well, oh well, on KO draw a card, we'll take it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We got a 3-cost Kairos, guys. Here we go. 3 cost, 5,000 power, Dressrosa type character with the effect on play. Whoa, and an on-play effect here. You may trash 1 card from your hand, and if your leader is Rebecca, this character gains Rush during this turn. And then on KO, see, they did it right on this one. I told you guys, the on KO is at the end on this one, whereas on the Orlumis it was first. I don't know what's going on there, guys. That's going to bug me forever, I think. I'm sorry, guys. I can't not see it now. You know what I mean? On KO, add this character card from your trash to your hand. Nice. But see, the Orlumis brings it to the bottom of your deck. I feel like it should have been like KO a character for this activate main, and then it could have brought the Kairos back. Do you guys feel the same way? Maybe, I don't know. All right. So the on KO is still very strong. Add this character card from your trash to your hand. So, okay, on KO, goes to my trash, goes to my hand. And now I'm just going to replay it next turn with my leader's effect. I love that. Very, very powerful. But that on play effect, one thing you have to remember, guys, when it comes to the game of One Piece is even if we try to go like turn 1 Viola, if we're going first, actually it doesn't matter. If we're going first or second, it doesn't matter. On our turn 1, if we play out this Viola, and then we do a search, and then we use our leader effect, pulling it back to our hand to play out a 3-cost character like this Kairos. And even if we try to use the on-play effect to trash card from our hand, and our leader's Rebecca, and we give the character Rush, you cannot attack on turn 1. It's actually in the rules as such. Yes, characters with Rush do get to, characters with Rush can attack on the turn that they're, played. However, it's something about on the first turn, neither player can have an attack phase. So it's like, or a battle phase or something like that. I can't remember the exact way it's worded. So you can't actually attack him with this character right on turn 1, even if you get the perfect pull. So just wanted to clear that up for some of the newer players out there. But either way, later on in the game, on turn 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, sure, trash a card and you're smashing in with Rush. Really nice effect here. This Kairos is awesome, and we don't even care if they KO it. It'll just go back to our hand. Next turn, we can cheat it out again if we need to. Really cool stuff here. Very nice card. Okay, next up we have Kelly Funk. This is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, Dressrosa Mogaro Kingdom character. With the effect on play up to 1 Bobby Funk from your hand. Okay, that's good, because otherwise this card seems kind of on the bad side, right? A 3-cost 3k with a 1k counter, and the effect is we're going to be able to play out a card named Bobby Funk. So we'll have to keep that in our mind for whenever that card pops up. But one thing to consider is this. This is a 3-cost Dressrosa card. So we can cheat this out with our leader's effect, right? With Rebecca at least. Excuse me, guys. So we can play this card. We can return a card back to our hand that's Dressrosa type, and then play out this Kelly Funk, which on play plays out a Bobby Funk. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But as is a 3-cost 3k with a 1k counter, there's really nothing special there. We'll have to remember this card when Bobby Funk pops up. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Koala. Awesome looking art for Koala. Man, that's a really good looking art for Koala. It's something about the eyes in this one. They just look really good. Okay, so Koala, 3 costs, 2,000 power, 1k counter, Dressrosa Revolutionary Army type character with the effect Blocker. Okay, 3 cost Blocker with a 1k counter. That's actually very good already, because remember, we can cheat this out. It's a Dressrosa card. Does the card come into play active? Let me see something. It would have to, right? Yeah. You may rest this character and return one of your Dressrosa type characters to the owner's hand and play up to 1 Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 3 from your hand. Yeah, so the card comes out active, guys, which is very relevant. So now you can cheat out this blocker by pulling back one of your Dressrosa cards with your leader's effect. And then on KO, if we choose to block with this card, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type event and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, I feel like I remember this card now. It was starting to kind of ring a bell as I was reading through it. I don't like it. I don't like that it can only grab Dressrosa type events. First of all, it should at least be able to grab Dressrosa or Revolutionary Army type events. But just the fact that it can only hit events, that doesn't sit well with me. But I guess this one's meant more for Red, Blue, Lucy. Maybe this card's not really even intended for Blue Rebecca. Because remember, guys, Red, Blue, Lucy, I believe they were Dressrosa plus Revolutionary Army type. So this is probably meant more for that leader. And then you block out, you search up events, and you go from there. But man, I wish it had a little bit more you know, versatility than that. Oh, well, still a great card. It's a 3-cost blocker with a 1K counter, and then on KO, it's potentially replacing itself by grabbing a Dressrosa event from the top 3 search. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Sai. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power character with a 1K counter and Dressrosa and Haposui army, and the effect is blocker, and then on play, you may trash 1 event from your hand to draw 2 cards. On play, trash 1 event from your hand and draw 2 cards. Yeah, this card's really awesome. I remember this card. I do remember going over this card in a spoiler video. I love this effect here. First of all, it's a 5-cost, 6K, 1K counter blocker. There's no downside to that stat line in general. And then on play, it's basically the 5-cost purple Don Quixote Rosinante effect, where you're trashing an event from your hand to draw 2 cards. Really good stuff, and this is perfect in the Red Blue Lucy Dressrosa deck. That's going to be perfect, guys, where there's going to be tons of events. If you have a bunch of the same event, okay, no problem. Play outside, trash the event you have too many of, and now you're drawing 2 new cards. You're cycling, you're filling up your trash with events from other effects. This card is excellent, excellent design for Red Blue Lucy. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Sabo. Wow, that art looks awesome. Really good looking stuff here. That orange really pops with all the blue around it. That looks great. So Sabo is a 7-cost, 9,000 power character, no counter, but this is a Dressrosa and Revolutionary Army type character with blocker, and on play, if your leader has the Dressrosa type, activate up to 1 Dressrosa type event from your hand. No cost restriction, by the way. So you guys remember the red? Hang on, is there a color restriction? If your leader has the Dressrosa type, I like that they did that so we can run this in, we can run this in Rebecca or Lucy. I mean, I think this was clearly meant for Lucy, the leader, but man, we can pull this card back. This is one of those really strong on-play effects I was just talking about, guys. We can pull this card back with Rebecca later in the game if we need to. Maybe we play this card out for 7. We do some type of powerful effect, Dressrosa event with the effect there. Then we block out of one of their attacks for next turn for, a 9,000 power blocker. Then on our turn, we attack for 9,000, and then we pull the card back to our hand with our leader effect, cheating out a 3-cost character, and then we play out the Sabo, activating another effect, and now we have another round of blockers. That's nice, guys. That's actually very nice. Okay. But here we go. So 7-cost 9K blocker on play. If your leader has the Dressrosa type, activate up to 1 Dressrosa type event from your hand. So guys, for Rebecca, it's really good. But I was going to say too, I think this was meant more for red blue. I almost said red blue Sabo, guys. Red blue Lucy. And yeah, I think it's going to be very strong in there. Remember, guys, we saw the 7-cost red event. I'm hoping there's going to be a 7-cost blue event as well to go with this, because there is no cost restriction on the card you can cheat out. It just has to be a Dressrosa type event. Really, really strong card here. This card has a ton of potential. Okay, let's keep going. Whoops, there we go. Hang on a second, guys. I got one more thing I'm thinking of. Oh, there's the alt art. Nice. We'll leave it on the alt art here. This is a 7-cost 9K. Is this something that blue-black Usopp can use? Hang on, guys. Someone tell me in the comment section below, is this potential blue-black Usopp support? We'll have to see. Maybe we can combo that with the Rebecca, right? Because can't it just cheat out a Dressrosa type card? I can't remember now, guys. It's been a long time since I played blue-black Usopp. Might have to revisit that. We'll have to see what kind of blue events that Dressrosa has access to, especially from this set that we haven't gotten to yet. Either way, this card seems really awesome. I love that stat line. 7-cost 9K. That's one of my favorite stat lines in the game. I was a real big fan of that with the secret Trafalgar Law that came out back in OP10 or whatever that was. I can't remember, whenever Green Yellow Trafalgar Law came out. I love that 7-cost 9K stat line. That is just a massive character. And this card has blocker, and it can do on-play shenanigans by cheating out events and stuff like that. A lot of potential here. Love this card. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, we have Sanji. Okay, tough guy over here. Check out that eye he's giving us, guys. Hey, you watch your tone around here, Buster. You watch it, buddy. That's a 3-cost 4K, 1K counter Dressrosa Straw Hat Crew character. Okay, Dressrosa 3-cost. Keep that in mind. Okay, and blocker. On play up to one of your character. Hang on. On play, up to one of your characters gains unblockable during this turn. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Man, that's interesting. There's a lot of places this card could go, right? I mean, this could go in blue-purple Sanji. I mean, it's literally Sanji, right? It's going to be Sanji, searchable, Dressrosa, and Straw Hat. So it can go in the new Rebecca. It can go in Sanji. Up to one of your characters gains unblockable. There's no restriction on that. It can be any of your characters. It doesn't have to be a specific type character. Wow, that's cool. And it's a 3-cost 4K, 1K counter blocker. So attach 1 Dawn. We're swinging for 5. This card's nice. This is a really high utility card. This is like an excellent card right here. Really good stuff. Like I said, though, that if he's going to look at me like that the whole time, bro, I'm just kidding. No, he's definitely, he is intimidating there, right? He's like ready to fight us. He looks like he's ready to fight us, guys. Really nice art. Looks awesome. Okay, next up we have Sanji. Okay, the alt art. Okay. Nah, man, this one's tough. This one's tough, guys. I think I actually like this one better. This looks good, too. This one looks good. Is he picking on poor Zoro? He's got to be nice to Zoro, man. It's like his little brother, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. I know there's some diehard Zoro fans. I think that's who that is in the picture. It's hard to tell from this angle. But no, it looks like it's Zoro right there. I could be wrong. Either way, this is the alt art. Looks really good. Very solid. Okay, next up we have Chen Zhao. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter, Dressrosa, Haposui army character, type character. With the effect on play, you may trash 1 event from your hand, draw 2 cards, just like what we saw with Sai, I think it was? Sai, yeah, just like what we saw with Sai. Trash an event, draw 2 for an on-play effect, and then on your opponent's turn, on KO, your opponent places, excuse me, guys, your opponent places 1 card from their hand at the bottom of their deck. Okay. Yeah, I do remember going over this card at some point. I love these kind of designed cards where it has an on-play and an on-KO, and they're both extremely relevant in this situation. Think about this, guys. Let's just, just imagine this scenario, the amount of value that a card like this has. So this is a 4-cost 5K character, right, with the 1K counter. So it's not really dead in any way, shape, or form. You play this down right on curve on turn 2, and then on play, you're trashing an event and drawing 2 cards. The card has kind of already done its effect. It's already kind of done what it it already did what it needed to do, right? Okay, then let's say next turn you attack into it. They're going to counter out or take a life card, right? Now, if they attack into your character, it works as a 1K counter, and they're trashing a card from their hand that goes to the bottom of their deck. This card has so much value, it's actually crazy if you think about it, guys. Because, again, even if they, remove the card. Well, first of all, if it's on KO, well, guess what? They're going to pay for that. But if they even, bottom deck this card, okay, you just used removal on a 4-cost 5K. And, by the way, it already did its on-play effect. Cool, we're good. Hey, we're even. This card, it's like a... It breaks even in your hand, right? Because you play this card out from your hand, that's -1 card in hand, and then you trash an event from your hand, and then you draw 2 cards. So you go -2, +2. It just breaks even in hand, and then everything I just said. So really, really good stuff here. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Hajradin. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 2K counter, Giant Dressrosa, new Giant Pirates type character with no base effect. It's just a 5-cost, 6K, 2K counter vanilla character. Okay, let's keep going. All right, here's Bobby Funk, guys. I remembered this name. So remember, we already saw, I already forgot the other guy's name. Hang on, where was he? Kelly Funk. All right, so Kelly Funk plays out Bobby Funk, and Bobby Funk says it's a 3-cost, 3K, 1K counter, Dressrosa, Mogaro Kingdom type character with the effect, if you have Kelly Funk, this character gains plus 3,000 power. Okay. Okay, I see what they're doing there, right? So the idea is you keep pulling back the Kelly Funk card to your hand, and then you cheat it out with your leader effect to play out a Bobby Funk, and the Bobby Funk is the card you attack in with because it ends up being a 6,000 power character. That's really cool. That's an interesting, design thing they did there. That's really nice. Okay, very cool card. I don't think it's incredible, and that takes up a lot of space in the deck. That's going to be 8 cards. Yeah, they are 1K counters. They are Dressrosa type. They do help your going first curve. Maybe they're going to be worth running, but I don't know if they're actually going to be worth running in the long run. We'll have to see what happens there. Tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. Okay, next up we have Monkey D. Luffy. Trying to punch us right in the face, guys. Look at this card here. So this is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 2K counter, Dressrosa, Straw Hat Crew type character with the effect on your opponent's turn. If your leader has the Dressrosa type, this character gains plus 3,000 power. Okay, it's a 3-cost Dressrosa card we can cheat out with Rebecca. And if we attach 1 Dawn, we swing for 5,000 and we're getting a card out of their hand. And then on our opponent's turn, if our leader's Dressrosa type, this character is a 7K, a 7,000 power character. on our opponent's turn. So that's not bad. That's actually not bad at all, and it's a 2K counter. It's Dressrosa type. It's Straw Hat Crew type. I think this card's just completely fine. It's nothing crazy, I will say that. I don't think we actually want to play this card out from our hand. I think we would rather use it as a 2K counter, but if we get a really slow pull, this could be perfect. Okay. Next up, we have Leo. We have a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 2K counter, Tuntatus Dressrosa type character with the effect. Okay, here's the removal card here, guys. The 2K counter removal prevention card for blue. If your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck instead. Okay, so this is Blue's theme, or Blue's flavor of the 1-cost 2K counter removal prevention card. It just says, you know, if your character with 7,000 base power or less would be removed from your opponent's effect, you can place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck instead. That's probably the one I like the least so far. The red one I didn't really care for, the Kobe one. And this Leo, not a big fan. I think the green one's awesome. Just rest 2 of your characters or rest 2 of your Dawn or whatever, and you're protecting your board. But Leo is making it where, okay, yeah, you're protecting the one character, but you're losing another character. I don't love that, but at the same time, if it protects the character that matters, it's obviously worth running. Either way, not terrible. It's just a nice blue Dressrosa 2K counter searchable card, and it's probably going to be very good. Excuse me, it's probably going to be very good with Rebecca because you can play this card out, you know, for 1 Dawn. You can return it back to your hand if needed to cheat out a 3-cost card later on. And then again, you can kind of just keep rinsing and repeating with this card if you need to. You know, that's just one way you can use the effect. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Rebecca. Wow, man, that card looks awesome, guys. Very interesting. She almost looks like glass or like a diamond or something with the way her face looks. That is a very interesting style of art there with the way the colors are specifically. Okay, so we have a 1-cost, 0 power, 1K counter, Dressrosa type character with the effect Dawn ×1. This character gains blocker. And then on play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so here's another top 3 searcher. Didn't we already have one? I'm sorry, guys. We got to go way back. I'm sorry, guys. Viola. Look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So we have a 2K counter top 3 searcher for Dressrosa. And then now we also have, let me go back to Rebecca. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Yeah, so we have a 2K counter searcher that's only 1 cost, and a blocker searcher that's only 1 cost. That's going to be great for our leader effect to cheat out a bunch of 3-cost cards, you know, with that effect. That should be very interesting. Wow, that's gotten me really thinking, I have to say. I hope they print a lot of these 3-cost options for us. The Kairos is incredible, but I didn't really care for the other 2, or the other 4 that we saw, or whatever it was, because we saw Luffy, Asabo, or Sanji. We saw Luffy, Sanji, I keep doing that. Luffy, Sanji, and then the 2 Funk brothers, Bobby Funk and Kelly Funk. I think there might have been 1 or 2 others. There was like an Orlumbus or something like that. But yeah, I didn't really care for any of them. I think the Kairos is the best option. Hopefully they can print more and more 3-cost, like really annoying options for the future that we can combo with these 1-cost searchers to generate advantage with our leader's effect. Really nice though. This is really good. And then later in the game, we attach 1 Dawn, and this is a blocker. For 1 Dawn, this is a blocker. Very nice. Okay, next up, we got the Altart, I think. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I think that I think the cheeks are too high with this one. I think the cheeks need to be a little bit lower or something on the left side. Something's not adding up. It doesn't quite look like Rebecca to me compared to this one. This one really looks like Rebecca to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. Either way, really cool looking Altart. Love to see those huge sunflowers in there. The greens go perfectly with the orange and all that. Looks awesome. Okay. All right. Now we're on to the events, guys. We're on the final stretch here for part 1 of today's video. We're on the blue events. First up is, and no one else can have it. It's our memento of him. Okay? This is a 4-cost Dressrosa Revolutionary Army type of event with the effect, main, if your leader is Lucy. Okay? So red, blue, Lucy. If your leader is Lucy, choose 1. Draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Then play up to 1 Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. Okay, interesting. And then we have, or you can return up to 1 stage to the owner's hand. Now, that is massive. That is just pure emu hate right there. That is going to be able to push their stage back to their hand. That effect is insanely powerful. I don't like that that first part. What am I thinking here? Draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand. Draw 2, trash 1 for a 4-cost event. So, like, we've already seen, like, blue-purple Sanji, right? Blue-purple Sanji has buff burst or boof burst. Draw 2. Just, by the way, Dawn -1, draw 2 in that deck. But even if you're not running it in blue-purple Sanji, it's pay 3 to draw 2, but you have to have 6 or less cards in hand. And that's like a decent stipulation. That condition's not exactly crazy. Like, it's easy to pull that off. But with this effect here, draw 2, trash 1, and then play up to 1 Dressrosa type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. Okay, it's still very strong. Don't misunderstand me, guys. I'm not saying this effect is bad. And I am thinking of this right now. I can't think of any of the 4-cost cards, the 4-cost options. They're not ringing a bell. The 3-cost, we had a lot of 3-cost stuff. I can't remember any of the 4-cost stuff. But either way, we did see that Qin Zhao card, the blue Qin Zhao. Maybe that's going to be really good with this. But okay, so let's imagine that. So imagine we're on a 7 Dawn turn, and we play out the 7-cost Sabo, the 7-cost 9k blocker, and then we choose to activate this Dressrosa event, and say our leader's Lucy. Say we're playing red-blue Lucy, obviously. Well, now we can draw 2, trash 1, and then play out a 4-cost character, and say it's Qin Zhao. Let's go back to Qin Zhao real quick, guys, make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, Qin Zhao. And then this on play is going to let us trash an event to draw 2 more cards. Okay, yeah, now that could be very strong. Okay, so I'm starting to see something there. If we can combo the 7-cost 9k Sabo to cheat out this event, which lets us draw 2, trash 1, and then we cheat out a 4-cost or lower Dressrosa type character like Qin Zhao, and then trash an event, and we draw 2 more cards, and then we draw on a card from the effect of our leader. Okay, yeah, that could be good. All right, that's better now. I see it. I see the light now, guys. I see it. So that could be really strong, actually. So let me think about that. We go -1 card in hand to play out the 7-cost 9k. We go -1 more card in hand to play out this card, which is going to make us trash a card as well. And then we play out the Qin Zhao. So and then Qin Zhao will make us trash an event. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw 2 cards from this effect. Remember, I already did the -1. And then 2 cards from the Qin Zhao effect. And then draw a card from our leader effect. Okay, so that will be -5 cards from hand to go +5 cards in hand, I think, when everything is said and done. Interesting. That could be very powerful. Really nice. Okay, and then having that extra utility of bouncing a stage, really nice. Really nice. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, next up we have go ahead and use a Mr. Luffy. So this is a 3-cost blue Dressrosa Bardo Club type event with the effect main, choose 1, draw 2. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. I was hoping they would have something like that, just very generically draw 2. Okay, or, so you can draw 2 cards, or up to 1 of your Dressrosa type characters gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Okay, hang on. Up to 1 of your Dressrosa type characters gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next end phase? That's actually pretty good. This one's actually, I feel like this one's really good for, what's her name? Rebecca. I feel like this one's really good for Rebecca because for 3, you can actually, like, give your Kairos blocker, and then it comes back to your hand on KO, right? Like, that could be really strong. I'm sure there's other things you can combo with, too, of course. And actually, this is just really good to combo with the Qin Zhao card because he has an on-KO effect, right? To eat up your opponent's hand a little bit. Really nice. This is a great utility event here, and it's not really... I mean, guys, you can just run this card in any deck as just a draw, pay 3, draw 2. You know, it's just a straight up divination in Magic, you know, or I don't want to say pot of greed because, you know, because of how resources work in that game, it's not quite the same. But as far as Magic goes, this is just, you know, pay 3, it's divination, draw 2. Nice. And then up to 1 of your Dressrosa type characters gains blocker. Yep, just solid. And it is a 3-cost event, so, you know, this does, guys, this card with Red Blue Lucy is just draw 3 cards. Pay 3, draw 3. Not bad. Not bad. Really strong. Okay, next up we have, all right, here we go. I was going to say, they better have the 7-cost blue event. We already saw the 7-cost red one. Okay, so we have, would you let me eat the Flame Fruit? Okay, this is a 7-cost Dressrosa Revolutionary Army type of event with the effect, main, draw 2 cards. Okay, then your Lucy leader gains double attack and plus 3,000 power during this turn. And then trigger, draw 2 cards. Nice. Okay. So this card right here I would hate to play this card out for 7. I'm going to be honest. But if we're playing this card out off of Sanji's effect, not this Sanji, excuse me, off of the Sabo's effect, well, that's gross, right? Because now we're developing a 9,000 power blocker. We're swinging for 8,000 power with double attack. And we drew 2 cards. We actually would have drawn 3 cards in the process, right? Because with the way that our leader works. Let me go back to the card now. Yeah, draw 2 cards. Then your Lucy gains double attack and plus 3,000 for the turn. Yeah, and then the trigger, draw 2. That's a nice trigger as well. This is really nice. It is a 7-cost card. You always have to ask yourself that, guys. Remember what I said about the 7-cost red card, the Fire Fist one? You're paying 7 for an event, so you're not developing your board at all. That's where I will say this. I do like the red event way better now after seeing the blue Sabo. That makes the card feel way stronger. But man, without that card, you're not developing your board, and you're paying 7 for an event that doesn't really do what I would expect a 7-cost event to do. That is something that I will say, guys, that I feel like Bandai's kind of fumbled with a little bit. I'm not trying to be negative at all. Just understand where I'm coming from here. I'm just trying to get a point out. I feel like Bandai could really, really improve on events. Events and stages. I just feel like they're not really explored enough. I love seeing this effect here. Excuse me, not this one. This effect here to bounce a stage. There's not a lot of stage removal in the game right now. But yeah, when it comes to events and stages, I feel like Bandai needs to put a little more work, a little more effort into perfecting those. And the things that I would expect from a 7-cost event would be much stronger than this. 7 Dawn to draw 2 cards and swing for double attack. That's not exactly crazy. You know what I mean? In fact, if you think about like, what's that card called? It's a Dressrosa card. It's a black Monkey King Kong gun, I think it's called, something, or Giant Gum Gum King Kong gun or something like that. Yeah, GGKKG. I think that's what it's called. Gum Gum King Kong gun. It's a 3-cost plus 6,000 or something like that. That also gives your character double attack. Or something. I can't remember. Maybe it is only plus 3,000. I can't remember. Whatever the... No, I think it is plus 6,000. What am I talking... I think it is plus 6,000. I could be wrong. Whatever. But I just have to say that I feel like they're missing something there. Paying 7 to draw 2 cards is not crazy. In fact, we can do it for 3, right? We can pay 3 and draw 2 cards. So is the other 4 Dawn... Man, yeah, but you're getting double attack and plus 3,000 power. Is that crazy? I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I might have to make an entire video on this. On what should you expect for each Dawn's worth of each event. Like a 1 Dawn event, what can I expect for that? A 5 Dawn event, what can I expect to get for that? And a 10 Dawn event, what can I expect to get from that? A 7 Dawn event, guys, I expect more than a draw 2 plus 3,000 double attack. Now, again, when you can combo it with cards like the 7-cost 9K Sanji, or there I go again, Sabo, that's different. That does make it very, very valuable. But other than that, it's like, man, do I really want this card in my hand alone? Could be kind of scary. Okay, let's keep going. I think that's actually it. Whoops, did I just mess something? Yeah, I did just mess something up. Hang on. All right, we got one more, actually. We got a blue stage here. This is Dressrosa Kingdom. This is a 1-cost stage. It's a Dressrosa type stage with the effect on play. If your leader has the Dressrosa type, draw 1 card. And then on your opponent's attack, you may rest this stage and trash 1 event or stage card from your hand, and up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice stage. This is a really good stage design. One Dawn, you're playing it out and drawing a card if your leader's Dressrosa type, and then on your opponent's attack. Now that part, that's interesting. The on your opponent's attack is not locked to any type. It just says, on your opponent's attack, you may rest this stage and trash 1 event or stage card from your hand, and up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. It's too bad that they locked the on-play effect to Dressrosa only. It's too bad you can't just play this in, like, any blue deck. Just, all right, on play, draw a card from my stage, and now I can trash events or stages from my hand to get the plus 2k buff once per turn. I thought that'd be really cool. Oh, well, all right. So either way, guys, this is a really good-looking stage here. I really love the design on this, especially if you're playing Dressrosa. Pay 1, draw a card. You're cycling through your deck while setting up a board state and future defensive options with the on your opponent's attack effect. Really good stuff here. All right, I think that's it. Let me see something. Yep, that's it for today's video for part 1. Tomorrow we will be going over the purple, black, and yellow cards from OP15. Okay? All right, let me get the outro page on here real quick, guys. Hang on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Okay, there we go. Hey, guys, appreciate everybody who made it this far. Thank you guys so much. And, guys, if you're... tell me what y'all think of these cards real quick before I just jump straight into the outro. A lot of good looking stuff from red, green, and blue from OP15. Looks like Bandai is getting very experimental with some of these new cards. All right, now I'm done. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, or using my TCG Player affiliate link, you're helping me out big time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, or part of the Discord community, you're also helping me out big time. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. This community has been incredible. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.